Welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm so excited that you're here. I'm so excited that I'm here. I've been thinking about doing this for a while and thankful for a friend giving me the push to take that first step out here. I am here. So my name is Sasha. I've been practicing asana for about 16 years now. I started when my son was 6 months old. I started with a book. It was Richard Hillman's 28 Days of Yoga. I didn't have the accessibility 16 years ago to just flip open Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube and find teachings of asana the way we can now. The yoga scene has really blown up from that time. The greatest thing about that book was it really laid a foundation for an at-home practice. It taught us that practice every single day is essential to our growth in the journey. That's what I'm here for. I would really like to lay a foundation, go through the basics, and help you create an at-home practice. I think studio practice has a place in our life. I teach at a studio. I think it's really great to watch YouTube videos and learn from Instagram, but I think there's an intimacy that comes when we can create our own home practice, when we can come to our small little sacred space, or maybe it's a large sacred space, and we can really unite with ourselves, unite with our breath, start to feel into our practice without feeling the pressure of tagging along or keeping up with a teacher or with the neighbor on the mat. We're going to start with Surya Namaskars, which is Sun Salutations. We're going to go through A and B. They're a really great practice all in their own. They're going to lay the foundation for a vinyasa practice. They can even lay the foundation for a hatha practice, just depending on which way you want to take your flow from there. They're really good for warming up the body. They strengthen our muscles. They lengthen us. They give us space. And they give us an endurance as well. So I'm really excited to start this. Let's meet at the top of our mat. At the top of the mat, big toes are touching. Ground down firmly in the big toe mound, the pinky toe mound, and the heel of the foot. Feel the feet rooting down into the ground. Slightly lift the kneecaps, engaging the quadriceps. This is the beginning foundations of Tadasana. Drop the tailbone slightly. Lift the shoulders up towards the ears and then back down the spine, squeezing them together gently. Open the hands out in front of you and keep the fingers passive, but not so passive that they are rolling up into balls, not so activated that you're clasping at the air. Crown of the head reaches towards the top of the ceiling or the sky, and the chin is parallel with the ground. Here in Tadasana, we feel strong, we feel rooted and grounded. We feel immovable, and we feel like we're ready to start our practice now. Take a big inhale, and on inhale, raise the arms up overhead, palms to touch. If your neck is okay here, go ahead and look up at the thumbs. On exhale, start to lower your hands as you hinge forward from your hips for forward fold. This might be your first forward fold of the day, so really be generous in the knees. Bending the knees so that the belly and the thigh make contact with one another. Hands are down on the mat, and the crown of the head reaches towards the earth. Find your balance here, allowing the left foot and the right foot to be equally distributed in weight. On inhale, raise up halfway, bringing the fingertips to the shins, straightening the legs out, and pushing the tailbone back towards the back side of the room and the crown of the head towards the top side of the room. What we're looking for here is a nice flat spine. If somebody were to come and set a cup on your spine, it would be okay. It could stay there. On exhale, lower back down, making your way back to high plank. Take a step back with the right foot and then the left foot. Keep looking in between the hands. Here are some options here after high plank. To go into your vinyasa, you can drop the knees and then drop the chin and chest, lifting the elbows high, but squeezing them in towards your rib cage. That's one option. That's called knees, chest, and chin. Coming back to high plank. Our second option is to bend the elbows back towards the heels and come to a halfway plank. This is chaturanga. Squeeze the elbows in towards the rib cage. Stay strong. Don't let the shoulders drop below the wrists. Keep them semi-high here. Back to high plank. So we got knees, chest, and chin. And then dropping the hips down to the earth, coming into baby cobra. Here in our baby cobra, we want to keep our elbows generously bent, push the hip points down towards the earth, and move the heart between the shoulders. Squeeze the shoulder blades together, and the crown of the head continues to reach towards the top of the room. Exhaling, we're going to lower back down, roll over our toes, and push the hips up and back for downward facing dog. That is one vinyasa option. Now the next option was the chaturanga. So coming back to high plank, exhale, bending those elbows, chaturanga. On the inhale, you would roll over the toes for upward facing dog. Here in upward facing dog, the only points of contact on the earth are our hands and the tops of our feet. We are still having that momentum of the heart moving between the shoulders. The shoulders are away from the ears and the blades are squeezing together. And then on exhale, you would roll over the toes, pushing the hips up and back for downward facing dog. That's option 2 for vinyasa. From here forward, I will just refer to that whole movement as vinyasa, your vinyasa. Here in downward facing dog, we have the palms pressing into the earth, as though you're trying to press gravity away. The crown of the head moves towards the earth, but shake your head no, or move it side to side a little, and ensure that your ears are hitting each bicep when you do that. Moving into the hips, lift up high on the tiptoes. Get the hips up as high as you can towards the sky. And then drag those heels down as though they have an anchor. There's a simultaneous energy pull here. The hips are moving up and away from the ground. The heels are moving towards the ground. The legs are completely activated here. We're squeezing muscle to bone. In downward facing dog, we appear as an upside down V. This is our resting pose throughout the Surya Namaskars. We come back to this pose to find our breath, to re-ground ourselves, and to ensure that we're doing okay, really. If at any point in time this is not enough for resting, go ahead and drop to your knees, set your butt back on your heels, and come to child's pose. Back to downward facing dog. On the inhale, look between the hands and take a step towards the front of the mat for halfway lift. Fingertips come up the shins, tailbone reaches back, crown of the head reaches forward, and the spine is flat. Exhale, hinging from those hips, belly to thigh, bend the knees as much as you need. Forward fold, hands on the mat. Inhale, press firmly into the mat with the feet as you rise all the way up, hands up, palms together. Look up if your neck permits. Exhale, hands to heart center, closing the sequence. That's Surya Namaskar 8. Let's start again. One breath, one movement. When we come to the option of chaturanga or knees, chest, and chin, I'm going to say, take your vinyasa, and through that you will move through your choice of vinyasa. Inhale, hands up, palms together, look up at the thumbs. Exhale, hinge from the hips, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Bring those fingertips to the shins. Nice flat spine. Exhale, place the hands on the mat. Step back for high plank. Continuing down through chaturanga or your vinyasa. Inhale, upward facing dog or maybe baby cobra. Exhale, over the toes, hips high, hips back, downward facing dog. Keep your breath moving nice and steady through the nostrils. Surya Namaskars are meant to build heat in the body and prepare us for a more vigorous practice. We'll go through 4 of these. This is our second, so 2 more. Moving 1 breath, 1 movement. And in down dog, we'll go ahead and stay for 3 breaths. Inhale, look between the hands, make your way to the top of the mat by stepping or maybe hopping for your halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rising all the way up, palms together overhead, look up, and exhale, closing the sequence out with hands at heart center, then Tadasana. Look down, are your big toes still touching? Are we still set up firmly in our foundation here? Inhale, hands up, palms together, look up. Exhale, hinging from those hips, pull the low belly in and up. It'll create more space for you to bend deeper. Inhale, halfway lift, flat spine here. Exhale, make your way back, high plank, lowering down through your vinyasa. On the inhale, you're coming into baby cobra or up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Keep your gaze steady here, a steady gaze will steady the body, and steady body will steady the mind. On your next inhale, look between the hands, make your way to the top of the mat for a halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rising all the way up, palms together, look up, and exhale, closing out the sequence, Tadasana. Inhale, hands up, look up, exhale, hinge from the hips, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat spine here. Exhale, make your way back through high plank, lowering down, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog, exhale, down dog. Remember to pull those hips high up towards the sky and drag the heels down towards the earth, keeping all muscle activated here. On your next inhale, look between the hands, make your way to the top of the mat, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rising all the way up, palms overhead, look up, and exhale, closing the sequence, Tadasana. By now, you should be feeling a little bit warmer than when we first began. So we'll move into Surya Namaskar B, which is the second Surya Namaskars or Sun Salutations of the sequence. Look down, steady yourself in Tadasana, feel the rooting down, feel your grounding, steady, strong here. On inhale, bend the knees, drop the hips, arms up, chair pose or Uttanasana. Exhale, straightening the legs out, folding over those thighs for forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, again, nice straight back. Exhale, make your way back through high plank, lowering down through your vinyasa. Inhaling through up dog or baby cobra. Exhaling through down dog. Here in the Surya Namaskar is where it becomes slightly different after chair pose. We're going to rotate our right foot to a 45-degree angle and pull the left foot in between the hands. Left knee is bent as we rise up on inhale for Warrior One. Check in with yourself here in your Warrior One. Is your knee directly over your ankle? Are your hips squared towards the front of the mat? To do that, we want to pull our right hip forward and push our left hip back. Check in with that back foot. Is there still energy flowing down through the back edge? Inhale the arms up, You may want to look up at the thumbs or continue to look straight ahead of you. Check in with your breath. Is it still moving smoothly through your nostrils? And then on an exhale, we're going to frame that left foot with both hands. Rotate on the back foot, pointing those toes forward and bringing the left foot back to meet the right for high plank. Lowering down through our vinyasa. Inhaling through up dog or baby cobra and exhaling through down dog. Setting up for warrior one on the left side now, rotating that left foot at a 45-degree angle and pulling the right foot forward between the hands. Bending into the right knee, inhale, ride that inhale all the way up, warrior one. Check in with yourself again. Are the hips square towards the front of the mat? Knee directly over the right ankle. And then pressing down into that outer edge of that back foot. Again, looking up or keeping the gaze straight out ahead of you. Feeling strong like a warrior. Exhale, frame the right foot with both hands. Pivot on those back toes so they face forward. Right foot back to meet left, high plank. Let's lower down through our vinyasa. Inhaling into up dog or baby cobra and exhaling through down dog. Surya Namaskar brings even more heat than Surya Namaskar A. We start to really warm up the body and bring mobility into the hip joints through the Virabhadrasana ones or warrior ones. Here in our down dog, we will take 4 breaths in between each sequence of Surya Namaskar B. Remember to keep the hips high, heels grounding down. Tuck that low belly in and up. It'll create a little more space for you to sink the crown of the head towards the earth. Are the ears still in between the biceps? Next inhale, look between the hands. Make your way to the top of the mat for the halfway lift. We should be used to this by now. Nice flat spine. Exhaling into a forward fold, hands to the mat. Inhale, drop the hips, bend the knees, Uttanasana or chair pose. And exhale, hands to heart center as you straighten those legs, Tadasana. Inhale, drop the hips, bend the knees, arms up. Exhale, straighten the legs, forward fold, belly to thigh. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, make your way back, high plank, lowering down through your vinyasa. Inhaling, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Rotate those right toes or right foot toward a 45-degree angle, left foot in between the hands. Rise up, knee bent, warrior one. Traditionally in Surya Namaskar B, it is 1 breath here in warrior one. On the next set, we'll go for that, but check in. Are the hips square towards the front of the mat? Is the knee bent over the ankle? Weight still pressing into that back foot. Exhale, framing the left foot, pivoting on the right toes, facing them forward, left foot to meet right, high plank. Lower through your vinyasa. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Left foot comes to a 45-degree angle as you pull that right foot in between the hands. Bend the right knee, rise up, warrior one. Keep the breath moving between the nostrils. Next exhale, frame the right foot. Right foot back to meet the left for high plank, lowering down, chaturanga, or knees, chest, and chin. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. 4 breaths. Steady the gaze. Looking towards the belly button, or maybe just down at the feet in between them. On your next inhale, gaze at the top of the mat. Make your way towards the fingers for halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, drop the hips, bend the knees, palms together overhead, chair pose, and exhale, closing the sequence, hands to heart center, legs straight. 2 more times. Inhale, bend the knees, drop the hips, hands up. Exhale, forward fold, straighten those legs. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step or hop back, high plank, lowering down, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Right foot to a 45-degree angle, left foot in between the hands. Inhale, ride that inhale up, hands up, maybe look up. Exhale, frame the left foot. Make your way back, high plank, lowering down through your vinyasa. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Pivot the left foot 45 degrees, right foot in between the hand. Ride your inhale all the way up. Warrior one. Exhale, frame that right foot. Bring the right foot back to meet the left. High plank, lower down, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog, and exhale, down dog. By now, you should definitely be feeling the warmth moving through the body. The muscles and the joints starting to loosen up and at the same time become stronger. Next inhale brings you to the top of the mat for a halfway lift. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, drop the hips, bend the knees, arms up overhead. And exhale, straightening the legs, hands to heart center, Tadasana. Last time, inhale, drop the hips, bend the knees, arms up, Utkatasana. Exhale, forward fold, straighten those legs, belly to thigh. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, make your way back, high plank, lowering down through your vinyasa. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Right foot at a 45-degree. Left foot in between the hands, bend that left knee, riding the inhale all the way up for warrior one. Exhale, framing that left foot back to meet the right, high plank, lower down, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Left foot 45 degrees, right foot in between the hands, bend the right knee, rise up on inhale, warrior one. Exhale, framing the right foot to meet left, high plank, lower down, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog, and exhale, downward facing dog. Find your breath, find your balance, and ground down with the hands and the heels as the hips rise up. On your next inhale, look between the hands, make your way to the top of the mat, halfway lift. Nice flat spine. Exhale, belly to thigh, forward fold. Inhale, drop the hips, bend the knees, arms up, chair pose. And exhale, closing the sequence out, hands to heart center, legs straight, Tadasana. Check in with yourself here in Tadasana. We just completed 8 rounds of Surya Namaskars, 4 of the A, 4 of the B. Feel the energy moving from feet to the top of the head. Steady yourself, bring your hands to heart center, bow the forehead down. Thank you for practicing the Surya Namaskars with me. They're a really great practice, as I said earlier, for just flowing first thing in the morning or first thing of your practice. They get the body moving, they can be rigorous, but they also lead us into a safe place for even more rigorous asana practice. They warm up the body, they strengthen the body, and they give us mobility. If you like this, subscribe, like, comment, leave me some feedback. What can I do better? Does my lighting need fixed? Does my cues need to be improved upon? Yeah, I appreciate all of you who have checked this out, who are willing to travel through this journey with me. Namaste.